Hello, and welcome to the third episode of my educational chess speedrun. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a national master with chess.com rating of over 2600, and in this series I'm trying to teach you chess and trying to make you play the right way. And let's find our opponent for today's episode, our first opponent. We play 3 games in total in each episode, 3-minute blitz games, and trying to obviously beat them. Okay, d4. I know that, let's say, rapid time controls are preferred, but still I think that 3-minute blitz, because after all it's called speedrun and I wanna go, as fast as possible. But of course we'll go slowly, but I'm still explaining you my thinking process during the games. And you might also want to check out my inside the master train series, where I play against opponents of my level in a rapid game and explain the whole thinking process behind it. Okay, plays knight f3. So I think I'm gonna b6. I'm gonna for queen's Indian, and I stated it in last 2 episodes, but this guy's no theory too well these days. Like even 445. Joined. Oh, yo, joined 24 days ago and plays all the correct moves so far. Are we up onto something here? I don't think so, because look, I never. Yeah, I mean c5 is just a terrible move, and d5 was never an option. But yeah, you kind of never know, because he play like, the problem is like, what is this? He plays knight c3. Knight c3, by the way, is the main move, and after c6 he plays something absolutely insanely bad. Like, I have no idea what he's doing, but okay, whatever. Because that's surprising. Like, you play good 8 moves and then one move that just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, and that's what happens with many of them. It's like, they're watching some book with opening moves, and then what happens is this book ends, and then they come back to their level. And that's why you also gotta kind of not only improving your opening, but also improving your middle game skills. Because look, like, he doesn't know anything besides opening moves. Like, yeah, openings are important, but you also gotta learn how to play chess. And that's why, let's say, I look, openings needs to be improved, but once you reach certain level, let's say on my level, openings probably become the most important part of the game, because like, if you forget one line, you're basically cooked. So that's why, let's say, on my level, openings probably are more important than positional aspects of the game, because sometimes the deeper I mean, of course, with opening knowledge also the experience comes, you kind of know more and more, but it's also like, it's just, you gotta improve your positional play from, let's say, 400 to 2000 elo, and then yes, that openings and all that stuff. But look, for me, it's becoming a problem. I'm sitting at 2160 FIDE. I obviously want to go for 2200, but it's getting extremely tough, and that's why I'm stating that openings is significant, because the more you know, the better, and you can surprise your opponents. But yeah, back to the game, guys. Sorry for, but I know some people love listening to this. All right, queen f2, and look, we want an exchange. We have a winning position. We have a couple of extra pawns. And generally, yes, I mean, once my center starts moving, it's gonna be completely over for white pieces. Okay, he goes rook f1, I take on g3. His knight is untouchable, unmovable, because queen takes on h4. And my next move is f5 f4. I think that's a good plan. And we can probably put win number 7 on the score sheet here. Right there. Okay, he goes knight f3 and now e4. Skittish. Fork. And takes. He goes this way. Now maybe c5. I want to distract. He actually has an idea. He has an idea of going for rook g1, but now, of course, king goes, let's say, this way. I think I can go knight d7, and then probably queen d4, queen this knight, trying to take it. Maybe knight f6. Oh, and he blunders his queen and he resigns immediately. It's win number 7, and we move on to the next game. Let me put win number 7. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And we move on. By the way, suggest me any openings you want me to play in this series. I pre-recorded some. I think next 2 episodes will be pre-recorded, but then look, I'm watching all the comments, so please make sure to suggest me something. Okay, goes e5, knight f3 opponent from Croatia, and we go for d4. And one of the popular moves here is actually bishop g4. Okay, he goes this way. Knight f6, I go knight c3, protecting the pawn. Bishop g4, bishop e2, takes, and then, yes, we traded a few pieces of the board. My plan is actually maybe play queen b5 and take the pawn on b7, because I think it's a good idea. And if queen d7 simply loses to the queen b7. And now I take just a lot of material. Knight d7, I take on c6. And rook c8, I just come back to a4. I keep the pin on this diagonal. Yes, I mean, eventually. Oh, I mean, I just took too many pawns. Look, guys, sometimes you also gotta think of consequences. Like, yes, he developed. At the same time, like, he's not creating threats. Sometimes, yeah, you might gambit some pawns in the opening, but you also gotta make sure that you will have something in return. While here, it's just hopeless. And let's say, yeah, he goes knight g4 again, and that's not a bad plan. But I think after knight c6, he almost has to resign, because he has to keep queen here. Yeah, he goes the smart way. But now g3. Now he has to move to f6 and once again attack, and then I probably will play bishop f4 because I just want to get my bishop to d6. Yes, he goes this way, bishop f4, and then takes. And then he might play rook c8, and then maybe I wasn't wrong. I was a bit wrong maybe, but I think that this is a terrible position overall. And the plan here might be, yeah, he goes this way. I'm not sure what he's trying to set up exactly. h3 maybe not the best. Maybe 5. Knight e4, skittish. And then we're basically trying to take one of the knights. Let's go f3. Knight d6, I'll just take. And then my plan is to go long castle, obviously. This move is smart, tries to attack me. And now I think something like rook c1 just wins the game, because he has to kinda go knight a3 and then I go c4. And then what I can go is I can go rook e1, check, king d7, knight e5, and then look, due to a tactical resource, I'll win in exchange. Yes, I think he will play king d6 because it looks the most logical option. Now I just take, and then I pick up this one, and I can play c4. And the problem with this is, if knight c4, I can go rook d1. Now I'll keep a pin on c file as well. I can go rook d7. Now the problem is, for him, I can go something like rook c7, rook c4. And it's gonna be a win number 8 in this speedrun. So we are slowly improving our score. And now I just gotta set up a ladder checkmate. So rook b1, rook b7, and then rook a6. Or rook b1, rook b5. Just to make sure he doesn't escape. Rook b1. And then rook b5. This king e3. I don't really care about this. And rook b5 is coming. Rook b5. And rook a6 checkmate is about to follow. Let's go. Ladder checkmate, win number 8, and we move on to the next and final game of this episode. Let's go. We're playing against opponent from France. It's so easy to find opponents on this level, like, because so many people are online. While on my level, let's say if I search for rapid game, it becomes a real problem because nobody plays at night, while these guys are Oh man, let's see. That's not the opening you want to play when you're 400. Okay, I mean, d4 is played, that's also a move. 96, and plan here is just to go for the center. Bishop g5 is probably not bad because I probably think of something like d4. Now knight b5, like I constantly have to deal with it. So maybe let's go a6. Let's prevent him from jumping to b5. I think it would be smart. And now the plan is probably to develop the bishop. And at some point we'll try to take this a5 pawn. Let's go bishop a5. f5. Not a5, f5. And then let's trade. And let's go e6. Look, I'm amazed by the level of my opponents here. Even at 400 people started playing well. Like, that's a bit surprising. Maybe they know a bunch of theory these days, but still, it's like, you know, I know how some people play on this level, and then like, why? Let's say this guy is, yeah, like e4 is just a decent move. I mean, come on. I mean, why on earth some of these guys are on 400 level? You know, I'm playing against them and I think like there still should be at least 2000, but at some point, yes. I mean, the second I said that they're playing well, they completely forget about their pieces. I still think queen c4 actually works, but yeah, they have some bishop d6, knight e4. So actually I think, yeah, queen c4 still keeps white in the game, but yeah, now he has, I mean, he has taken, and I think it's gonna be win number 9. We can probably put it on the board, because I don't think I'm gonna lose this one. It's would be a shame for me to lose this one up a piece against 400, but you never know, right? Bishop a7. Yeah, this should be fairly easy to convert from now on. Yeah, like g3, knight 2, f5. All I gotta do is just, you know, play aggressive here. f5, because I didn't want him to allow this jump. Bishop c5. And then I almost move my rook to d2, but of course it would be a bad idea. Rook b1, knight a5. Yeah, takes. I pick up pawn on c2. And it's about to be over. So yes, blunders the knight. Let's go e5. So let's pick up a pawn. And I think it's gonna be a checkmate pretty soon. Rook c1, I can go rook b5, exploiting the weakness of the last rank. And yes, I mean, resignation. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, give me any feedback you might have, what I should improve on. I'll see you in the next video next week. Bye bye.